NAB 2025 is right around the corner. We are heading there, and we're excited to see what Blackmagic has up their sleeve because they always have something surprising every year. You just never know what you're going to get with Blackmagic. I have a few notes. I have some things I want to cover, and it is speculation. I do not have any inside information, just like everyone else. Blackmagic is one of those companies that they really seem to keep tight lips when it comes to new product releases, which I kind of love because they don't have a bunch of YouTube influencers that are kind of pushing new products and having embargoes on kind of new cameras and stuff. It comes as a surprise to everyone, which I think is pretty fun. But we have some speculations. I have some speculations on maybe what is coming down the pike for them. And in addition to that, that's not the only thing this video is about. I think we wanted to make this video. Again, this isn't a typical video for us, but as a way to discuss and talk about some things that we would like to see Blackmagic do. I think it's really important for the community and their target audience to talk about these things, to have engagement on what people want, because it's a great way for Blackmagic to hear and see what their target audience wants in the next camera and for features and for software. So with that, I'll state some of the things I want, but feel free to leave some comments below letting us know and letting Blackmagic know kind of things that you want to see in a new camera or software or equipment. But without further ado, we will get into it here. So I'm on the Blackmagic page here, and as you see, just a couple days away. I'm recording this just a few days away from their 2025 update. This is going to be happening on Friday, and this is where last year they announced the Pixis, they announced the Ursa cine, amongst a bunch of other stuff. And there's a few things I want to touch on. So we'll start with some just products of what we think might be coming up. So I'm going to go to the product page here, and obviously we have some of the stuff that came out with last year. We're going to talk about cameras a little bit. I want to go down a little bit further, kind of deeper into the page on these guys. So the first thing I think that is long overdue for an update is the Blackmagic Video Assist. So this Video Assist, the 3G one, that one actually came out, I think it was like 2015 that came out. So we are going on 10 years ago that got released. Obviously, there is the 12G here. That was updated a few years later, like 2019, and it's pretty much the same. There was a few, I think the screen got a little bit brighter. If I'm not wrong, could be wrong with that, but I think the screen was a little bit brighter, and then obviously the very obvious one is 3G versus 12G. I think these are long overdue for an update. Things like the SD cards just don't really make sense. It's way cheaper to buy CF Express Type B cards in terms of capacity and speed versus, fast SD cards. Fast SD cards are surprisingly expensive compared to CF Express. So I think that these ones, there's a likely chance that there's an update coming from, hopefully. The one caveat to that is the fact that I don't really know if there's a market for external video recorders. So many cameras today are starting to do internal compressed RAW, like Nikon, Canon, obviously Blackmagic, Red. I do wonder what the demand is for external recorders. Nonetheless, I love B-RAW. I'd love to see them update it and have the ability to record B-RAW on more cameras other than just Blackmagic cameras. So I think that one's coming, hopefully, but we'll see. You never know with Blackmagic. From there, now this is one that people don't really talk about, and honestly, I'm not even sure what it is on their page. It's probably buried here. Let's see if we can even find it. There it is. It's way at the bottom. The Blackmagic Cloud Store. Now, first of all, the naming convention is super confusing, considering the Blackmagic Cloud is not the same as the Blackmagic Cloud Store. Two totally separate things. Blackmagic Cloud is basically their cloud service that you pay for. Cloud Store is their physical devices. I loved what they were doing with this, and I would love to see them keep building upon it. And honestly, we purchased the Blackmagic Cloud Store, and it's a great device. It's really, really great, but it's been very quiet, and there hasn't been a lot of software updates. We actually have it in our server room, and we have it currently running into a switch. But the big thing that I didn't realize was an option when we bought it, or was a feature of it, there's no link aggregation. So even though you have 4 10 gig Ethernet ports on the back, There's no way to actually utilize all those if you're running into a switch. So you can only use a single 10 gig port, which, considering the whole selling point of this is the speed, the fact that you're limited to one port is kind of a bummer. And unfortunately with our setup, we have to do it that way with the switch because we can't run 4 individual new cables to the editing machine. So I would just love to see the software side of things built out a little bit more with this cloud store. I think there's just a lot of potential with it. I love where they're going with it. I just hope that it doesn't get forgotten. And the other thing with it is I would love to see it just integrated more into the actual cloud store software, their online cloud store, because it just seems like it's not quite there. We were kind of, when we bought it, hoping that it could function as a remote access NAS, and you can't really do that. So I would just love to see more options with this. The software is very basic. Again, not as exciting of a one, but that's something I think could use some updating. All right, so now let's talk about the big juicy one, which is the cameras. People love talking about the cameras the most. I get it, it's the most exciting. And there's a few things that I've been noticing, some trends of what people kind of want. And so I've written those out. And one of the first ones that I've seen, I feel like over the last 5 years, is people talking about a new pocket camera. And yes, there has been a handful of pocket cameras. The first original 4K, I want to say it was released, I think I've written here, 2018. So now we are going on 7 years of that camera, which is, it's pretty old at this point. And yes, there's been a lot of iterations with the pocket line, but if anything, I think with every iteration that they made, those cameras continued to get bigger. So I think they really strayed away from this whole pocket idea. And a lot of people have kind of voiced wanting to see a new pocket camera, and I totally agree. I think that'd be awesome to see a new pocket camera where Blackmagic kind of takes a step back and reevaluates what a pocket camera actually looks like. So that's a first one. I could see something like that coming from Blackmagic. We'll see. I think it could be really popular to see a very travel-friendly cinema style, camera that truly is a little bit more pocketable. But who knows if they're working on it or not. Now, the next one is related to the Ursa Cine line. So the Ursa Mini Pro, I think that was released 2016. So that body style that the 12K, the Ursa Mini Pro, the 12K OLPF was in, that body style was released in 2016. So that's going on 9 years old, that body style. It's very old at this point, and obviously the very obvious response to that would be, well, that's what the Ursa Cine is. I would agree somewhat, and in another way, not so much. I think the Ursa Cine really was kind of a step back, and they really looked at, targeting the very high-end market on that with people who are Sony Venice users and RE cameras and stuff like that. I think that was really their target with it, and they did not hold back anything, and I think that's amazing. It shows how powerful of a camera it is, and with that, the downside of it in my mind is kind of the fact that they did not hold back anything in it. It is so feature-packed that I think there's still a potential to see a light version of it, a mini version of it, in a slightly smaller form factor that maybe strips away a few of the features. This is something we would love to see because I love what they're doing. I think the Pixis is great, and I think the Ursa Cine is great. And I think there's a gap to be filled in there. And, if you look on their website, obviously some people might say, well, that's the Ursa Mini Pro. But again, I think at this point they are a little outdated. While they are still very capable cameras, don't get me wrong, they're very capable cameras. They're a little outdated. Things like the media, the screen on them, they're not high bright screens on it. The media is too slow. We had that problem with the 12K. So I think it'd be cool to see. Now, that kind of takes me into this, which is the Pixis. I think that maybe a Pixis Pro could kind of fill this gap too. So whether they do a Pixis Pro or an Ursa Cine Lite or an Ursa Cine Mini, maybe they do both. Maybe they do neither. But I do think that there is a market for an in-between camera. And I think a lot of people have voiced too wanting to see kind of an in-between camera like that using that 12K sensor, because the images coming off of that Ursa Cine right now are incredible, and I think people are pretty obsessed with it, rightfully so. So I think if they could figure out something in between there, I think there would be a really big market for that. It's generally what we're kind of thinking and feeling. If there's something that you would like to see, if there's something that, you know, a feature, a product that you want to see from Blackmagic, let us know in the comments below. We'd love the discussion to continue below. We think it's a great way for us, their customers, to really let them know, you know, the areas of interest that their customers want. So that's generally the video that we got for you guys. We're going to be at NAB this year again. If you see us, make sure you stop us and say hi. We love getting to meet you guys, and we will see you in the next video.